We are live. Welcome back, everybody. Good evening. Happy Saturday, and welcome to Coach's Corner. My name is Robyn Herron, and I am your carnivorous grandma. I'm a certified health coach, and I'm here with my brother, cousin, Coach Sherrod. Hey, Sherrod.
Yes. Hello. How's everybody doing? Thank you guys for coming back in. And yeah, we got a great show for you today.
Yes, 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 we do. So, I have a little controversial title for this show, and the title is The Lie I Told Myself About Getting Older. So, tonight we're talking about something that most of us are experiencing, but we rarely question it. And what if most of the things, or many of the things that you have accepted as normal, normal aging, normal life, are not normal at all? What if that afternoon crash, the brain fog, the aching joints, the poor sleep, the constant hunger, and the lack of energy are not simply signs of getting older? What if they're signals? What if they are signals that your body has been sending for years? So many of us spend so much time managing symptoms that we never stop to ask why those symptoms are there in the first place, right? We hear things like, just wait till you get over. How many of us have had our first quote unquote um, symptom of aging? Somebody was telling me that theirs was bursitis. Mine was arthritis in the knee. Yeah, just wait till you get older. Or that's just a natural part of aging. Or everybody feels that way. And after a while, we do stop questioning it. So tonight we want to question and challenge that thinking. Because while aging, as long as you live, aging is inevitable, right? The suffering that we have been having go along with that is not always inevitable. So, Coach Sherrod, let's just start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Well, at 500 pounds, I thought I was just getting older. I thought I was tired all the time. I thought that was normal, to be that way. I thought the aches and pains, hurting in my joints. I just thought I was just getting older. I thought, struggling to move around. That was just being normal. Like, hey, you're old now. It's just part of life. So
Mhm.
you can't do what you used to do no more. And I thought, having the need for extra energy and all those things was just part of getting older. The truth
Mhm.
is, I had lived that way for so long, I stopped even questioning it, right? I figured that this was just happening because I was just getting older. Now, looking back at it, I realized many of the things weren't normal, they were symptoms. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. So we want to think about things, some of the things that people are accepting as normal, because we've literally normalized it within our culture, right? So, you know how you got to have that afternoon snack because you're tired and you got to go, you feel like you're going to crash in the afternoon after lunch? We normalize that, right? What about just needing coffee to just function? So I know for myself, if I drink coffee after 12 noon, I'm going to be up all night. But back in the day, I used to drink a pot of coffee every single day because I needed it to function. What about not being able to sleep? Poor sleep. How about the brain fog? Like I'm forgetting things. I went upstairs and I'm looking for something, but by the time I got up there, I cannot remember what it was. Has that happened to anyone? Right? Brain fog. Even to the point where, I got my glasses up like this and I'm looking around. Where's my glasses? My thing is, where's my phone? Where's my phone? I could never find the phone. Oh my goodness, the brain fog is a real thing. How about joint pain? Yeah, how many of us have normalized the when we get that glitch and we can't lift our arm above this high and we're like, "Well, I think that's just cuz I'm just getting older." So we normalize that. Constant cravings is another thing. We're constantly eating throughout the day, constantly craving sugar, constantly need a candy bar, need a little hit of candy, a little something sweet taste, little sweet taste in the evening after dinner. I got to have a little dessert. So I think that this is one of the biggest traps that we're facing within modern health because we have normalized and made these things so common that everybody has stopped questioning whether this is actually a real phenomenon. Like, is it because of aging? So if everybody at work is tired, then tired feels normal. If everybody needs a 3 cups or a pot of coffee before they can think straight, that feels normal, right? If everybody around you is gaining weight, struggling with their blood sugar, dealing with aches and pains, it starts to feel like, well, this must be simply what aging looks like. But from a coaching perspective, normal aging and declining health are not the same thing. Because, as I said, if you live, aging is inevitable, but constant deterioration is not. I always think about this lady, this marathon lady. She's 90 years old, still running marathons. How is she doing that at the age of 90? That's kind of crazy. So, constant deterioration should not be normalized. So, some of the symptoms that we attribute to age are actually connected to chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, poor sleep quality. We have several phases of sleep that we need to go through every night. If you are cutting those short, you're not getting enough good quality restorative sleep. We got nutrient deficiencies and years and years and years of metabolic dysfunction. And what happens is this happens so slowly. We inch up 1 pound at a time. We keep taking medications and adding on one symptom at a time. We get these prescriptions and they keep on adding on, piling on until you're on 3 or 4 heart blood pressure medications. And eventually people forget what feeling good even felt like. So, why do you think so many people just accept those things? Sherrod?
Well, Robin, I mean, all those things you just said were so true. As you were saying it, I've just kept thinking in my mind, it's like everything you're saying is like, wow, this is this is what I allow myself to do that. Now, why? There's many reasons why, but I'm gonna say one thing. The one thing you said, everybody around them is doing it. You kind of become numb to it, like it's okay, right? Just like when I think about the cousins and brothers when we used to eat back in the day, we all ate like 3 4 plates, like
Mhm.
that was normal, right? I couldn't
Yeah.
dare,
It was
I
a
would not dare
competition.
do that. It was like, and it's just like you don't realize sometimes how much you get into those things, especially when you're around family and friends or having a good time, just relaxed. You allow yourself to overindulge in things. So anyway, um but that's what we're dealing with. When everybody's tired, hurting, overweight, exhausted, it starts to feel normal, right? um
Mhm.
Common and normal are not the same thing. Just because something is common doesn't mean that your body is functioning the way it was designed to. And so me learning these things now, Robin, I'm telling you, I've just been like so aware of things, and it's so I'm so happy about it because at first I wasn't. I like to think of it like this, and this is one that I like the check engine light, right? So you have a check engine light on your car, and you know how it is. Back in the day, we used to have that check engine light on. You would ride, if you well, maybe some of y'all had good cars, but when you had a hoopty or what we used to call it or whatever, you would ride with the check engine light and it'd just be riding. You was like, well, it won't, it's still riding. So if the check engine
Yes.
light is on and you try to put tape over it or something, and you just keep driving because that's what it's like, you're supposed to investigate those things. You're supposed to try to figure out what's causing the problem. And
Mhm.
but with our bodies, we often ignore all these warning signs: the fatigue, right? The pain,
Mhm.
the joint pain. Oh man, my knee. I was just sitting talking, with some fellas and talking. Yeah, man, my knee be hurting. I mean, just ignoring why is your knee hurting? You know,
Right.
oh, we just say, well, it's arthritis, and that's what they said when I went to the doctor. They took an X-ray of my knee and they said I got a bunch of osteoarthritis going on, and that's it. That's what the problem is, and we leave it there. Well, I had that same situation, right? I had osteoarthritis going on in my knees. I didn't think I would ever be able to walk again, but guess what? Since I've changed the way I ate, I cut sugar out of my diet. I cut all the bad fats and all the processed foods from out of the diet I was eating. I ate a strict carnivore when I started off. And I was in 3 days, my body said, yes, this is the way to eat. And
Mhm.
just been eating this way all along. And so what happens is now I can tell when my body is saying things and doing things, right? The constant weight gain, the brain fog, all those things that I was dealing with, those may be your body's way of saying to you that something isn't right. So, Robin, can you kind of, take over because I
Yeah.
keep talking and
That's all right because it's the truth. I wanna just I need to get some of your pictures in here, but I do wanna just bring up one picture
yes, yes, yes,
because there is a thing of your body is talking. And what is it why is it that we are ignoring what
yes,
the body is saying, right?
yes,
This is what you're talking about. Your body is
yes,
my body was saying something is wrong here.
yes,
I had these rashes. I had this eczema, two black eyes. It was really, really difficult. I tried to cover this up with makeup because I did not realize that my body was literally saying something to me, trying to tell me that something is wrong. And so many of us are in that same boat where we are dealing with issues and we basically don't realize that your body is just trying to tell you, hey, you need to change something. So instead of us asking why, we learn how to manage symptoms. And I did these creams and ointments, and I did shots. I did courses of steroids, and I learned how to live with what the issues that I was having. Right. That's just one thing. The skin issue was just one thing. So what do? We schedule our day around our fatigue. Do you? Did any of y'all schedule in a nap? I used to schedule it in. Sometimes I still do take a nap, but you need to get that nap in. I remember when I was working at the pharmaceutical company, they had couches where you could go and lay down and take a nap. And I would go down there sometimes and take a nap in the midday because after having all those carbohydrates for breakfast, by lunchtime I was wiped out, right? Yeah. So, yeah, we basically keep our snacks around because we know that we're going to be hungry. How many of you have a candy bar or some other kind of snack in your drawer? You got some fruit with you. You got something with you because you got a 100-calorie pack even with you because you know you're going to be hungry. And then of course I was relying on that one pot of coffee, and that was my limit was one pot of coffee per day. That's crazy because my energy was so unstable. We're accepting that poor sleep as normal, and we joke about the forgetfulness. We're laughing about it, but it's not funny. It's not funny, right? When you have brain fog, and we just tell ourselves we're just getting old. We're getting old. So think about this. If your car, and he was just talking about the check engine light, now you're driving your car and it starts to make a clunking sound every single day. Every time you drive it, it's making this noise, right? Yeah, eventually you're going to have to stop ignoring those sounds because something's going on. Something's going on. You know, something underneath the hood needs attention. So our body works that same way. These symptoms are information. All of the symptoms that you're having, that is information. The pain is information. Something is wrong. Your body is trying to tell you. And so, even weight gain is information. So, if you are trying all the diets and you're doing all the things, you're doing exactly what your dietitian, your doctor told you to do, and you still can't get that weight off, your body is saying there is something else going on, right? So, one of the things that I want us to start thinking about is to get away from symptom management. Get away from that idea that we're going to just manage the symptoms. We're just going to put a band aid on top of it and start to think about what is the root cause of what is actually happening here. Instead of asking, what kind of medication can I take for this? We want to start asking, why is this happening? What is happening? And that's the question that literally changes everything. So, Coach Sherrod, when you started changing your lifestyle, what was the first thing that you noticed that changed?
So many things changed right away. Um, I'm not gonna say it was weight because everybody think because I have lost a lot of weight, um, almost 200 pounds. I'm still losing. So, but it wasn't the weight. No, um, and if I had depended on the scale, I probably would have got a little discouraged and
Mm.
not continued on. So I'm glad the scale. And I think when I first started, you told us about being careful with the scale. Don't even worry about the scale, And so I did that, right? And man, I'm telling you, so my energy improved. The first right off the bat for day one, that was right. Day two, I just started feeling different. I had less pain. Day three, my mobility improved. I was able to get up.
Yes.
Uh, I started, you saw my lymphedema I had, and my legs were swollen so bad and so big that, I had to wear special shoes, socks, all these things. And getting around was hard. So I didn't move much during those years of immobility. So me getting up, when I say I got up the third day, like,
That's a
like,
huge deal.
like that's not like I
Yeah.
saved you, but I'm talking about I
A
did get
big
up
deal.
out the chair and start moving around. And I've been moving ever since. And I was told, you think about we talk about knee pain and all that. I could probably have had a knee surgery and all this stuff to have a knee replacements and hip. But
Mhm.
instead, I said, I'm gonna give this some time, get this weight off, allow my body to heal and make changes and see if I even need the surgery. And I don't know, Robin, right now I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I don't, now I can't, I'm not able to just get out here and run, okay? Not yet. I'm
Yet.
working on it. I'm working on it. I'm
So,
working on that, y'all. I'm working on it. But um I don't feel like knee replacement right now is something that I need to push for, or at this moment, hip replacement. And I know you remember my hip hurting so bad, like earlier this year. I
mhm.
had to go get an injection. I had because it was hurting bad. But through therapy, through making sure I'm, my diet, through resting, recovering, all the things, getting good sleep, my body is healing. I know people don't like to hear that word heal, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
So the craving started losing a grip on me, and that's when I knew something bigger was happening. Then the
Yeah.
weight just eventually started falling off. Ring clothes. I've had to buy new. This shirt is too big. That's right. And I just bought this shirt earlier this year, so it's like I'm buying clothes, and I can't keep up with the clothes that I because every time I buy something, it's like it's getting too big. So I like that problem. But healing started before the scale ever even showed up in the showed me that that's what it
Yeah.
was. So yeah.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Because, we as a culture, I think, have been obsessed with the scale. And when we get on some people do get on the scale every day, and you're able to do that and still be okay. But some of us was like letting that scale tell us who we are. I tell you, she's a liar. The scale is a liar. Yeah,
And the
she's
truth
a
ain't in
lie.
her.
She's a lie. And so, but we believe that nothing is actually happening unless that number on the scale is changing. And the scale is probably the worst indicator of your health changing. Because most of the time, most often, what I'm hearing is that that scale is lagging indicator. It's a lagging indicator, and the first signs of healing have nothing to do with weight. Just like what you said,
Mhm.
you're able to get up. I remember you saying you didn't need to take pain medication that you had been
Yeah,
taking every day.
yeah,
And that was incredible to me. I saw you get up with my very own eyes, and I was like, oh my
yeah,
gosh, this is amazing. you
yeah.
know? So those first signs of healing usually have nothing to do with weight. I tell you, I went on this way of eating, this sugar-free carnivore way of eating to lose weight. That was what I thought my objective was. So many other things changed that it came to my mind that, oh, okay, so you can actually heal your body with food, right? So sometimes we see something else happen before we see weight coming off. I did lose 20 pounds within the first 90 days on carnivore, but then I didn't lose really no more weight for like 2 years. But the clothes kept changing. Kept getting smaller clothes, even though the weight was staying the same on the scale. So, you might see some different things happening. You might see your energy increasing. Sometimes you might see that you are getting way better sleep. Where you used to have to get up and go to the bathroom in the night, now you can sleep through the night soundly, right? You're getting really good restorative sleep. Sometimes it's like I'm able to focus, I'm able to really hone in on these activities that I need to do. Sometimes it's just realizing that I don't need to take no more pain medication. And I've heard that so many times. Then sometimes and a lot of times when I what I hear from people who have gone and eliminated sugar is that food is no longer in control of me. My thoughts are no longer centered around my next meal, what you ate, what I ate. The only reason I really think about a lot about food and taking a picture of my food is because I have a YouTube channel and I need to show y'all what I ate. So, but other than that, I'm cool. I don't even need to know. I used to be so obsessed with food, right? So now that food no longer controls my every thought. So, Coach Sherrod and we are health coaches together at CG Health Coaching. We encourage people to look beyond body weight because the body often begins repairing important systems long before dramatic weight loss shows up. Now, there is a caveat there because some people do lose a lot of weight real quick. Some people do. But, we're telling you like don't count on that. Let the healing come. Your body's will weight will normalize. So what does that scale measure? It measures gravity. What it does not measure is it doesn't measure your healing. So yeah, our biggest victories that we have within this space are always the non-scale victories, and those are the things that we really, really want to celebrate. So yeah, those are the real health victories.
Yes. And there are so many. I know me and Robin are sharing this with you, but there are there got to be millions by now. Did you think, Robin, of
Yeah, I definitely
carnivores or
do.
people
Hmm.
who are eating an animal based way of eating, a ketovore way of eating, just even keto. Start off somewhere because the thing is that we're this food that they call food isn't really food, but
Right.
you know we it was just so crazy today because I was just experiencing everything we're talking about and my buddy, he had a bag of snacks and I was
Oh
like,
my
oh,
Lord.
look at all these snacks you got, like crackers, cheese, chips, all this stuff. And I said, that's not food, right? He's
Right.
like, well, yeah, I know, but it's processed. It's really not food. We
Yeah,
call it
it's
food, but it's
products.
really not food. It's when you have multiple ingredients, it's a chemistry project. That's what I'm gonna call it because I used to. work at the pharmaceutical as well. And I worked in the back in the chemical department, and
Mm.
that's what we did. We brought barrels of chemical ingredients in, and then I mixed those things up in these big drums and kettles, and these sometimes these batches and processes would go 2 3 days, and then at the end we got a fine powder. Well, and then you take that powder, you take it to formulation, and then that's what forms it into pills or different things like that, or whatever we was making. Anyway, I'm just saying this is the same process as what your chips are that you're eating. It's the same thing as your Oreo cookies.
Mm.
This has just been made and all these chemicals added, and you're eating, a project, really. And I know you don't like that. People don't like to hear it, but it's the
No.
truth. Anyway,
I
I had
want
to
to say
throw that
this
in.
before you go on. I
Yes,
just have to
yes,
say this. So, did anybody see the CEO of McDonald's made a video
yes,
and he said, I'm going to eat this product for lunch? He didn't say,
yes.
I'm going to eat this hamburger, I'm going
No,
to eat this food, I'm going to eat. No, I'm going to eat this new product for lunch. And then he couldn't even bring
yeah,
himself to eat it.
yeah. And I
That was
don't think he
crazy.
swallowed it. He probably spit it out after the camera cut. I mean,
Right. That
I'm
was
telling you,
crazy to me. Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, that's the reality we're living in.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, people are still going there. The people are still going there. So I went there the other day.
Mm.
Only reason I did go because we had a heat wave and I needed some ice water. So I
Ah,
went through. I
yeah.
got a cup of ice and a cup of ice water, 50
Mm.
cents.
I
Uh,
went there and I got the burger patties. Now
yes,
I know the people talk about the
yeah,
McDonald's burger patties, but in a pinch, they will do. They will do.
yes,
I'm gonna go on and
yes,
eat it and live my life. Okay.
yes, yes. In a pinch, because
Yes.
when you're traveling, and you travel, so you gotta
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta make that choice. So, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm not
yes.
gonna eat that bread though. I'm not gonna eat that quote unquote cheese, and I
Oh,
definitely ain't eating none of the plants coming out of there, the lettuce and the tomatoes and none of that stuff. No, absolutely
and you
not.
would think the fries, if they were just potatoes, the fries would be okay, but they're
They're
not.
not.
They're not
They are
just
not.
potatoes.
Look it
They're
up. See how
chemical
many
projects.
ingredients are in French
Yeah,
fries. Like it's
yeah,
insane.
yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. That's the first thing I learned when I started making small changes. Robin, started looking at the ingredients, and I would just go buy frozen fries at the store and think, man, what's all this stuff in it? Why it's got this in it? So
Right.
I started just buying potatoes and cutting up my own French fries. Like it's not that hard.
Right.
You could buy a press if you want, boom, and then make fries for you. It's not hard. I
Yeah.
look, do that if you gotta do it.
If you gotta do it.
Make your own bread. If you gotta have bread. I mean, this is where we are. Let me say this because you talked about the McDonald's. I seen a video out. It's a video going around with someone taking a piece of bread and getting is like soaking it in water. And the bread usually is supposed to be soggy. Back in the day, you had that. Your bread got wet, you'd be mad because it would
Right.
tear up.
Yes.
No, it wouldn't tear up.
Like a sponge.
Yeah, yeah. This bread didn't do that. They squeezed the water out of it, and it was still a piece of bread. Like there's some stuff in that just our bodies should not be messing with, people. I'm
Right.
just, yeah, I like it.
Yes.
So anyway, we're saying this because we've been there, we've done it, and we've experienced it. And now that we know better, we've made changes in our lives so that we can Robin, you look good, but my skin
Thanks.
looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, you were supposed to pull up my picture, by the way, so they could see my
Oh
face and
man.
dark, how my skin was all dark and how I was all swollen and
I'll make
just
sure I
in
have it in here
pain.
for the next time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's okay. It's okay. But these are the things that we're on here sharing with you because it bothers us. So
Yeah,
I got a
that's
question
right.
for you, Robin.
All right.
Um, what was something you accepted as normal that you later realized wasn't normal at all?
Yeah. I have to say it had to be like debilitating anxiety. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I thought it was a normal state of being. So it started out with fears and racing thoughts, always being worried about everything. Like I would tell people don't call my phone and stuff like that because I thought something bad happened if they were call me. So just text me first so I can prepare myself for whatever you about to tell me. You know, and just so many fears. I was so anxious. I would drive down the street and I was looking at this today as the sun is shining down. You know what a shadow is. The trees is going to make shadows on the ground. Those
Mhm.
shadows would freak me out. Like I would be so afraid of that. Like I would be afraid like something was bad going to happen to the point where I thought I wasn't going to be able to leave my house and asked the doctor to put me on medication. That was about a year before I went carnivore. Maybe about, yeah, it was about 6 months before I went carnivore. After I was on that medication for a year, I went off of it after I was on carnivore. So, right, I thought this racing thought, the food obsession, it all was tied together to what I call my mental illness. I had this mental illness that that showed itself in anxiety, racing thoughts, fears. Um, I mean, to the point where I went to the hospital, thought I was having a heart attack, and it turned out it was a panic attack. Come on now, that's crazy. I think it happens to a lot of people, though, right? So I
Yeah.
thought that that feeling on edge was normal. I thought it was a normal state of mind for me, and I never had the idea that it would ever go away, right? I never connected that to like inflammation, my health journey. I never connected it to, my metabolic syndrome, none of that. I didn't connect it to inflammation, and I did not connect it to the food that I was eating. And so it was so surprising when I changed my lifestyle and I eliminated sugar and went on a primarily meat-based way of eating. It was surprising. On 90 days, I'm feeling this overall sense of well-being that I had never experienced. A lot of people call it the carnivore zen because you feel settled. I no longer cared about what you was eating and what I was going to eat tomorrow. I never wasn't even thinking about that. And then I didn't realize like behind your eyes, what happens inside of your eyes when you have too much sugar is it causes inflammation behind your eyes. So when I'm looking at things and they look weird, it's probably because I had a lot of inflammation in my eyes. And that would freak me out. It would look weird and give me, I would see flashing and all kinds of different stuff. It was very strange. So nothing in the world around me changed. What changed was my way of eating. That's the only thing that actually changed. I was able to eliminate and wean myself off of that medication that I had been on for a year. I still have a very stressful job and I got all these grandkids. And it's very stressful. But the response that my body is having to all these stressors is way different than what it was. So, yeah, I had accepted that anxious person, that's just my personality. It's my personality type. I'm a worrier. Anybody else ever say that? I'm just a worrier. And it really wasn't connected to personality. It had to do with physiology and the way that my body was processing carbohydrates. So for me personally, that is one of the best things that has ever happened to me is I was able to get on the highway and drive today, you guys. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to go on the highway again. I need to get ready to go drive over there and see my dad. He lives a couple of hours away. I don't want to be bound to Kalamazoo. Like I can't leave Kalamazoo because I'm too anxious. So yeah. So I'm happy that the health improvements also impacted my mental health.
And it's so interesting that we don't relate these things to the foods that we're eating, but they should be related to it, right? I mean, because our body is doing stuff on the inside that most of us have no clue. I've been learning so much about my body these past 10 years
Mm.
that our bodies are amazing.
Yes, they
Um,
are.
they're well built machines, and they need to run on premium fuel, right? Like that's why I like the check engine. It's like why would you put watered gas into your car? And especially if you got a nice car and you're paying
Mhm.
a monthly payment, why would you put water in your tank?
Mm, mm.
Because that's what everybody else doing? Nah, no. So
Right.
I mean, those kind of things are, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna agree with you because depression and all these things they come up on us when we're sitting, we're you can't move because you got a lot of pain, and I'm not minimizing anybody's pain. Trust me, I've I know how pain is. Trust me. My wife tells me all the time, is like, I don't know how you deal with all this pain all the
Mm,
time
mm,
like that.
mm. Mhm.
Body constantly in pain, and sometimes I ain't got to move for to be in pain. It's just body just used to hurt and ache all the time, and that's what happens when you have diseases that some of us have. Especially I have sarcoidosis, and that disease causes pain and inflammation in all your joints. And so, um, but I could take a whole lot of those medications and it probably would help a little bit. But the problem is, I'm taking all these medicines that have these horrible side effects, right?
Yes.
Which causes more problems. So instead of doing that, I'm choosing to make a choice and say, you know what? Let's stop eating the sugar, first of all, right? Because the insulin resistance, if you don't know, insulin resistance is the cause for most of the diseases and things that we deal with today.
Yes.
Okay. And, it's a shame that our you know, health department, health, whatever, people in charge aren't stressing this enough,
Right.
because we are in a metabolic health crisis in this country.
We
There
are.
are a lot of people who are sick, everybody. And
Mhm.
it's getting to the point where I'm scared and fearful for people that I see now walking around like I used to walk around here, some years ago. I'm looking at people now. I'm looking at people and like, I could see the pain, I could see the hurt, I could see
Mhm.
the struggle, I could see it. You can see it now. And it's like, man, what can we do? What can be done? Are we just gonna
Right.
just keep sitting back allowing this to happen?
Mm.
So I don't know. I feel like we're good on our questions, but let's ask. You want to ask the viewers a question, right?
Yes,
Does that
I do
sound
have
good
a
to you?
question for you. Absolutely. So, the question that we have for you tonight is, what symptom have you accepted as normal? What have you normalized that your body is trying to tell you, hey, something is going on here? What are you tolerating that you shouldn't have to tolerate? Our bodies are fearfully and wonderfully made, designed to heal, right? Maybe you're exhausted, or maybe you're having food cravings. You have to have a snack or a candy bar in the evening. You may need a little something sweet. Maybe you can't sleep, that your body is trying to tell you something. Maybe you have anxiety, depression, you know, mental illnesses that you're dealing with, right? Or digestive issues. I had IBS. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare, right? Maybe it's joint pain, arthritis. I have a bone on bone in my knee. My right knee is bone on bone, and they said, you can come and get these injections. Just come back when you're ready for the surgery. Huh? I'm trying not to go for the surgery, right? And so yeah, there's something that you are normalizing that you should not be normalizing. And you need to look at that and see what is your body trying to tell you? What if your body is giving you some kind of information and saying, "Hey, something's going on here. Let's have a look at this. I had those two black eyes. My body was definitely saying something, but I could not understand that it was trying to tell me something." I'm telling you, and we are telling you, your body is telling you something. And so we need to figure out what it's trying to say, right? What
Yes.
if your body's just been asking for help all along, right? And the first step toward feeling better is simply becoming curious enough to ask why. What can I do about this problem? And we're going to tell you to eliminate your sugar. Go
That's
ahead.
what we're gonna tell you. If you really want to get rid of most of the pain that is causing the inflammation, pain and inflammation, those are together, separate to both. They all that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on. The inflammation, when she was talking earlier about the eyes, that's a real thing. My wife was diabetic one for many years, and when she had to go get a needle this long stuck in her eye, I
Mm.
said, I said, I will not ever, ever, never will I let my sugar get high like it was getting eating those, Krispy Kreme donuts
Oh
and
my
all that kind of
gosh.
stuff. I said, I'm not gonna do it because one, I don't want that. I don't
Yes.
want that needle being stuck in my eye to
I
get
know that's
fixed.
right.
And if
Yes.
you don't know, a lot of people who are diabetic right now, if you go to any eye clinic and wherever you are, and you'll see there's a lot of older people getting their eyes looked at, but you start seeing people come. It's a lot of the times it's due to diabetes, having high sugar in your body, and so it just destroys those soft veins, like in the eyes, the feet, those different places. So that
Yes.
was enough to scare me, right? And so as she was at, so what have you stopped questioning? That's a question I got for you. And please,
Mm-hmm.
our hope is that you actually answer these questions. Leave them in the comments for us. And if you have questions about anything we said tonight, put it in the comments. We'll try our best to answer you. Okay, so keep checking back, and we'll make sure we answer you.
Yes.
Um, but what have you blamed on age, right? What have you learned to live with? Maybe your body has been trying to tell you something all along, right?
Right.
We know you got check engine lights, but you also got brake lights. You got your coolant light can come on. So we all these same signs that we have for a car is we have them for our body. And sometimes that's knee pain. Sometimes that's swollen ankles, right? Because if you have swelling in your legs, that's
Mm-hmm.
a sign of some symptoms going on, and that's
Yes.
something that you do not want to let get worse. I can tell you
Yes.
that because for me, it did get worse, and I was in the hospital with cellulitis because of the
Mm-hmm.
swelling in my legs. So, not trying to scare you, we're just trying to inform you that you can right now stop and make a decision for your life, for your health. What quality of life do you want to live the rest of your life? And it doesn't matter if you're 20, doesn't matter if you're 80. You can change right now, today. So I know many people who have. I know, I love the story of Dr. Kiltz. uh, you know, hey, these are folks that's well over 70. So what
Yeah.
what are we talking about? Let's stop having the excuses. Let's stop making things that are common. Like it's not common to be in pain. It's not common to be dealing with that pain. There are some things you could do, and don't stop asking the questions about it. With your healthcare provider, say, "Well, I want to know why this hurting. Let's investigate it. Let's
Yeah.
do more than just give me some medicine, some pain medicine, because then you're just making something that could have been fixed worse,
Yeah.
right? So
Yep. You're just putting a Band-Aid on it, and
you're
it's
just
not
putting a
going to fix
band-aid.
the root cause of the problem. So, we are all about getting to the root cause of what is causing what ails us. And so, that is what we do at CG Health Coaching. And we are here to coach with you, to walk you through this journey. If you're interested, we're doing a 7-day sugar free challenge. all throughout the month of June where you can take any 7 days in this month and just eliminate sugar to see what that's like. And then determine if there is some kind of problem that you're having with too much sugar, which you definitely are if you're still eating a lot of carbohydrates.
And I got to
So,
say, please try it because we've been having people sign up, and the links are in the description. And people have been noticing great changes. Just 7 days, just
just
trying it for
7 days.
7 days.
Yeah.
Man,
Is it a cure for diabetes? Ha! That is coming in from Benny Williams. Is it a cure for
can I say a little
diabetes?
something? Let me
You
say
may
this.
definitely say something. Please
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
first of all, well, I can't use my wife. My wife, she was a diabetic one, and she did have to have a pancreas transplant. So they technically say you can never be, that's what they say. You can't be healed from diabetes. But I'll say this, I was pre diabetic. My highest it got to was 7.5. I just got my labs done. My my A1C is 5 right now. So well below 5.5, which is the line 5.5 and above, you're considered pre-diabetic. So I'm so thankful that my stuff is steadily dropping. And it's only been 1 year of carnivore. 1 year of carnivore. And I went from being pre-diabetic to I ain't reading on the scale of that anymore. Now, what I hear is that you could put in something to the doctor and ask them to take that out of your medical records
Can.
so that it won't say it anymore. So
Mhm.
that's my plan is to do that. So then I can
Yes.
say I'm not diabetic anymore. You know.
So let me just say that we are not physicians or medical practitioners. I'll just say that first. But what I can say is that there are many, 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 many people who have reversed their type 2 diabetes with with elimination of sugar and with the elimination of sugar and going on a primarily meat-based way of eating. So many people have reversed type 2 diabetes and basically no longer have type 2 diabetes and are getting that removed from their medical record. So yes, I cannot say that it is a cure, but certainly if I had type 2 diabetes, this is the way of eating that I would be choosing for health reasons, right? So, I don't see any
Great.
other questions.
That's
So,
actually a good question.
yeah,
Thank
that
you.
was a great question.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for that
Thank you.
question. We would definitely
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yes. Yes.
Um, I don't see any other questions tonight, so I do want to just touch on the fact that we do have our Impact Meet Up and Eat Up with Carnivorous Grandma and Friends that is coming up September 5th, 2026, right here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. We have such an amazing lineup for you of influencers that are coming in. We've got Dr. Kiltz and Dr. Nelson and Nurse Laura Russell coming in. Coach Sherrod is going to be there telling his story. And maybe his wife too. That would be really cool if she would come and tell us a few words about her story. But yeah, so it's going to be amazing. And we are also going to be screening the Healing Humanity documentary. Carrie Mann and Jen and Emma, all of the mans are coming in, and Adam from Carnivore Today. And we are going to have an opportunity to view that movie at Impact this year. So I hope to see you there. I believe the commercial is going to play when we end this live stream. So stick around and have a look at that and scan the QR code and get your tickets. These tickets are selling fast, you guys. It's going to sell out. If you have not gotten your ticket, make sure you get it because it's going to sell out. It's going to sell out. Absolutely. Any final words, Coach
Yes,
Brown?
please like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you get us. We are Coach's Corner. Just something me and Robyn have decided to do to put our effort forward in trying to make sure, we can let as many people as we know about these things because I didn't know it. And thank goodness that, I have Robyn to be able to share some stuff with me, and some of the stuff, is a lot of information out there. You just want the right information. You want people who kind of, who isn't in it for the clicks and the different thing, you know, whatever motivation people have. Our
Mhm.
motivation is to see people living a full, healthy life, and not be tricked by, you know, what the label says, you know, or tricked by medications. You know, just here, just take these, and you know, we just, you know, and then there are situations, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm against doctors, and I'm not. I have a wonderful doctor. Me and my doctor, we work together in our health, in my health care, because it's mine. So we work together, and that's what you want. And so I advocate for myself. I speak up for things. If I don't understand something, no, you have to explain that to me again. Why do I need, mm-mm.
Yeah.
I'm not just going
Mhm.
to take something just because you say take it. I've been in too many situations in my life where I went to doctors thinking that, and I trusted that, and it did me no good. And
Yeah.
so I'm protecting my health, I'm protecting myself, and so I'm gonna do what it takes to learn things I need to learn for myself. So anyway, please click like, subscribe, come back and see us. We'll be back again.
2 weeks. We'll be back again. All right. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Good night.